As the bride's father, I would like to start the celebration of Gemma and David's very, very special day. Firstly, welcome everybody to Taplin's wedding place. This is a beautiful setting, and I know many of you have travelled from Ireland. So I'd like to thank you all for coming. Gemma, you look absolutely stunning and beautiful. Mum and Dad are very, very proud of you. And we think that David is a very, very lucky man.
So do we.
I don't think we're biased in that.
It's right, I completely lucked out.
I have a little something for you.
Let's hear about that.
That's right. It's behind me. It's behind me. A little something for you and David, your first night together as husband and wife.
And the battery's in it.
It's got an air compressor.
No, not all of it.
I can't get the bubbly out. But there's bubbly.
And chocolate.
And chocolate.
First night together as husband and wife. And with that, I would just like everybody to join me and wish Gemma and David health, wealth, and happiness, and raise a toast to the bride and groom. Now pass over to
There's nothing on me anyway. First, thank you to Andy for the kind words and for the amount of effort that he's put into today possible. Could I just get one more applause for Andy? Right? I know why you were here.
yes.
So, on behalf of myself and my wife, such a cheap pop, isn't it? We'd like to thank you for joining us here today because we're
Have a drink.
every single one of you. And today's genuinely more special. Thanks for having me here. We're truly happy that you all made it, especially after such a long wait. It's been a year and a half of planning and waiting, which for Gemma it's definitely been harder than it has been for me. You know Gemma, if she wants something, she wants it done quickly and with a passion. In fact, for both of us, more like 2 years, because for about 6 months before I actually proposed, Gemma would ask me every night before bed, will you marry me? So you can't say, let me actually propose myself. But we've got a lot of people to thank over this year and a half, but firstly, obviously, Kim and Andy. The amount of work that you put in is immeasurable. I mean, I'd like to thank both of you for all of the Jostens and the Forleys and all of your company. Mark and Andy as well. I feel genuinely at home with you guys, and you really make me feel like part of the family, so thank you so much for that. Also, my lovely Chloe. Couldn't get away without something like you. You've done so much for myself and Gemma. You've helped us from the start. Our relationship would be nowhere near as strong if it wasn't for the support that Mum and Dad put in for us this time. They've helped us from the beginning, and we're much stronger because of it. Now we do have some gifts for the parents, I think. It comes at this point in the speech.
And he's already given them away.
Thank you, Mark. That doesn't make me.
You need to do that.
I'll walk around in a minute. And then I'm going to look at something like that. So, of course, bridesmaids, who I think everyone can agree are absolutely stunning. And groomsmen, and my best man, who knows how to put on this great stag do. She is making an effort.
Sober enough yet?
And to my beautiful bride. Yeah, there's nothing on that card. Gemma, from the moment I first met you, I knew that I'd have someone who understood me, someone who had got up from my rambling and not being able to talk fluently, someone that will make the world seem a better place for her being in it. You've given me more courage, more strength, more support than I deserve. And to be honest, I know. I know with you life will always be great. I know life with you will be la vie en rose. And because you're at the Corsi, people will now expect you to know French. So, finally, I'd like to pass over to my best man, who, as a child, I once went out to quite a nasty knock to the head, so any memories might be fuzzy. Alright, hello everybody. You're right. Right. So it's been an amazing wedding so far. I love how laid back it's been, and thank you for bestowing the honour of best man on me. I love sitting and coming up with speeches in my spare time. And a lot of clips, I'll try. As David said, the bridesmaids look beautiful, absolutely beautiful. According to advice on the internet, I'm supposed to start cracking onto them. Given one's my wife, once we get internet turned down pretty slim, so probably not non-existent if I carry on drinking. David, we met 25 years, 5 days ago, through the miracle of birth, so I was taken into the hospital, and I was given a spaceship with these little men. It was awesome. It was the best gift I ever received, and I could see why my parents were looking forward to this day so much. It was just amazing. David was incredibly smart. I mean, from the age of 3, he could get floppy disks for our Amiga games thing, and he couldn't even read at all, and yet he'd always get the game he wanted, and he'd sit there playing for hours. Genius. You say this, but our VCR ensued a very similar fate when he started shoving biscuits into it. So I'm not sure it all worked out so consistently. So, we were pretty much born and raised geeks. We spent a lot of time on our computers and our games consoles. And as we got a bit older, Mum and Dad wanted to do something that was active, really cool. So we joined the Scouts. We spent evenings in the Scout hut. We went away on summer camps. There's one such adventure that stood out in my mind when we were hiking through a place called the Roaches in the Peak District. And this place has got cliffs, boulders, and kind of climb everywhere. And the last time I saw David, he was perched at the top of this high cliff. And someone said to me, he's fallen, he's hurt himself. And I was actually, even for an older brother, genuinely quite upset about the situation. And I ran over to him, only to find that he'd been running down a hill. Instead of stopping and sitting down, he decided to do a forward front flip in the air and crack his leg on a rock, earning himself a spiral fracture. Of course, we're in the wilderness, miles from anywhere, so ambulances are out the question. So over the horizon appears an air ambulance. See, my dad was a scout leader at the time, and he was with us, and it had been his childhood dream to go in an air ambulance. So he was going to make the best of this situation. Even over the rotor blades, I could hear his disappointment echo off the cliff faces when they said only David could fit on it. So he had to kind of half walk, half run all the way back to the campsite for 7.5 miles, and eventually get to hospital to find David doing what he does best and playing computer games.
Like a plastic like that.
So, there's a lot of bittersweet moments in David's life. He did a little pyromaniac phase in his life. He played the game of striking a match and seeing how far he could get it down before it burnt his fingertips. And David won. I tell you, he won. Unfortunately, when he had to drop the match onto our parents' carpet, which burnt a small hole. A little bit of moment panic ensued as he kind of tried to, instead of blowing it out, poke it around. There was this beautiful crop circle effect. It was pretty amazing. It was work of art.
You got new carpet though. You got new carpet.
Did?
Yeah.
All the way through the house. So, undeterred by these adventures, we see David pick up a mix of interesting hobbies, defecting to the air cadets, collecting swords, dragons, then, going across the urban wasteland that is Yates to do parkour and front flips. It's an incredible thing. He was pretty adept at playing guitar. He even bought a violin. I don't think he knows how to play it still, but he just went home collecting dust. We did begin to question his direction in life, though, when he became an ardent supporter of Macclesfield Town away from home. Notice the cheers in the room there. And I think it was in a rebellion to his regimented haircut in the cadets that the metal look was born. Though slightly deceased today, I'd say. Yeah. So he began growing his locks, started to look, widely commented that he looked a bit like Keira Knightley. Pretty much scrubbed her off my list. Soon he began frequenting such wonderful places as the Agincourt in Camberley. For those that don't know it, it's a village hall that does rock music. It's an amazing, amazing venue. He grew up in mosh pits. He got his lip pierced, which meant he could dribble on anything that he was drinking. He dressed up in incarnations of cybergoth and donned see-through mesh vests as he partied through the night in foam pits. Interestingly, it looks like dressing up like idiots runs in the family.
back country of amazing Stoke, the David Stag do, and Johnny pointed out to me that people die jet skiing. We're only 2 weeks ago and there'd be no recovering from that. He did survive though, which is good, amazing. It made today really awkward otherwise. No, Mark was throwing him off the back. It was amazing that he survived intact. You know, as I put my drunken brother to bed that night in his sleeping bag, I was very proud to have him in my life. And there are many times that I've greatly admired David. He is an all-round good guy. To quote his friend Lewis, he's always been one to encourage trouble. He's a bad influence at heart, a mischievous one. Whether it's giggling with glee as he decided to wax my legs, letting me surf around on the roof of his car. Obviously people think he's the innocent one, but he's the legend that comes up with the ideas and then pretends they're yours. So it's been awesome getting to know David and seeing how many views we share on the world. From afar, I watched and listened. He was on Portsmouth Radio, it was Pure FM. He commanded the stage when I went to see him in the theatre, and he did him in school, and it was amazing. And I watched on Facebook as he did some incredible pranks on his friends, like gaffer taping furniture to the ceiling, or filling entire rooms with army men in carefully regimented names, or tearing up 15 Argos catalogues to create like a sea of paper up to about that.
That was a long weekend.
We had some fun. Johnny and Sabrina's wedding, we did a ridiculous song, taking the piss out of Johnny's hairline. In about 10 minutes on the back of a napkin. We were quite drunk, you may not remember. You know, and he inspired me to learn the guitar and get back on it. And he also found a girl that was absolutely perfect for him. Now, it was clear as soon as we saw David and Gemma together, you know, Gemma blessed with the patience of a saint. David makes his way through 294 computer game titles that he owns in Steam alone.
You checked, didn't you?
I did. It's a wonderful bit of research material. I can also tell you that you've invested over 300 hours in Skyrim and Mass Effect alone. I don't know what they are, but it sounds like you get value for money, I'll tell you that. So, you know, David and Gemma are two sides of the same coin. You could tell they admired each other, they respected each other, and they supported each other. When I talked to David on the way home from his stag, he said, there's a lot of things in life that are uncertain. What I'm certain about is I want Gemma as my wife. Aww. They found in each other an honesty, a partnership, and best friends. Now, David hasn't told you about his engagement, so he had a gazebo in the garden. He covered it in fairy lights. Under the night sky, he played his guitar, the Book of Love, as he proposed to Gemma. Pretty much for every man to shame that's ever done. So, I know you've got the romantic bit squared away. I feel it's my duty to impart some brotherly advice on you in a way that only a one-way speech will allow. Love each other's faults and share your own strengths. Feeling close to another person will give you the chance to either tear them down or lift you up with everything you have. Be a team and work together to overcome life's obstacles. There'll be amazing times and there'll be tough times too. And you have to stick together through every single one of them. And relationships, they're a lot like computer games. You have to put in the effort and the hours to level up. The only thing is at the end of every level, you have to get used to the boss being you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for this one. The gentleman named Robert Brown once said, one day in your search for happiness, you discover a partner by your side, and you realise that your happiness has come to help you search. I hope that you continue to find happiness with each other, to grow together, and to help each other chase your dreams. To Mr. and Mrs. DeGorsey. So, you'll also be pleased to know that there's an open bar tonight on behalf of Andy. There until the money runs out, so use it wisely. So what's going to happen now is you'll be fetched a table at the time to come and get your dinner, and we can chow down and drink up. So thanks very much again.